Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the PuroRegal pod here on the Slam Fam Wrestling Network. I am Timothy Regal, joined by the leader of Ringside Chat, Mr. Gary Freeland. Gary, we've made it through the New Japan Cup. We've made it through 32 guys. I can't even figure out how many matches in my head. And now it is all go, all roads, leading to MSG, leading to the G1 Supercard. How are you feeling?
Tired.
It was a long going to 32 guys. It was a long New Japan Cup. There was some stuff that was good. There was some stuff that maybe wasn't so good. But there were definitely some gems also as we went through the tournament. But I guess real quick, we're not going to go over every single match of the tournament because that would make this podcast about 5 hours long. But I'm assuming, were you like me? Did you kind of just watch the Cup tournament matches?
Yeah, that's all I watched, yeah.
I think I watched maybe 2 nights where I actually watched the undercard. But like I watched when one of them was the opening night, and then like I said, I had a road trip to Black Label Pro that week, first weekend. So I was already behind, and I'm like, dude, I'm just watching tournament matches at this point. I'm treating this kind of like the G1s of the past, where I'm just going to watch tournament stuff. I'm not going to watch everything because that would have just taken forever and I never would have got caught up. But there was some pretty good stuff as you went through the tournament. What are your overall thoughts?
Honestly, I thought it was one of their stronger tournaments. As long as it was with the 32 men, I kind of liked it, and especially with the stakes that were involved, I really enjoyed it. Especially those last couple rounds, I think may have been the most solid, top to bottom semifinal and final that they've had in quite a long time.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. But like I said, there was some stuff in the early rounds that was good. There was some stuff that was a little meh. But I think one of the best matches of the tournament to me, night one, man, Tomohiro Ishii and Yuji Nagata. I can't off the top of my head tell you how old Nagata is off the top of my head, but I mean, when he gets called upon for stuff like this, the man can still get in there and absolutely deliver. Him and Ishii, main event of night one, just out there, old school Yuji Nagata match, just chopping and kicking each other. This is the kind of match that is what made me fall in love with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I totally agree. I think it's if you wanted to see an example of an old school match in the modern era, this would be a great example of that. Because if you really go back and watch that match again, they didn't do a whole lot in regards to a lot of big flashy moves or anything like that. It was just there's some suplexes, some punches, some elbows, some basic, old school Puro type of work. But it was a hell of a match. The way they put it together, the way it was strung together, the story that they told, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I am pleased to report, and this is kind of shocking as I'm kind of back through my Grapple app ratings for the tournament. Grapple app, GRAPPL app, they should sponsor us. Mm-hmm. I should be getting sponsored by those guys, seriously, as much as I put them over. But no, I'm pleased to actually report that the night one of the tournament, Manabu Nakanishi versus Yoshihashi, not my worst rated match of the tournament.
No, it wasn't. It actually was not bad. It wasn't horrible.
It was actually serviceable, and actually not even the worst rated match of the night for me on night one. That Taichi Honma match,
bad.
Dude, it just went on and on and on. Honma should not be wrestling singles matches at this point. That is readily apparent. He's fine if you want to throw him in a tag, but do not put him in a singles match. kind of go through kind of just thoughts on night, and then we had night two. Night two was a little meh for me. Lance Archer, Toa Hanare actually gave a really good performance against Lance Archer, I thought. Archer had two great matches in this tournament, actually.
I thought so too. I thought hopefully maybe he gets a little bit of a look. Like we were talking about a few weeks ago, they kind of need to build up that undercard a little bit, and he would be a great, guy to do so. I thought he was perfectly serviceable in those two matches.
That and then, dude, Bad Luck Fale is turning into the New Japan version of Nia Jax. Every match I watch, it gets worse. Does this guy give a shit at this point?
Does he have to give a shit? I guess would be the question.
Dude.
They kind of they're going to push him regardless. And really, unless he's wrestling Okada, you can pretty much guarantee it's going to be a bathroom break style match. So you may as well just look at it that way. He's great in the role that he's in. If they use him as a heater for God, I like him in that role, and that's about it for him.
Will got a halfway decent, serviceable match out of him, which that goes to the talent of Will, because I mean, it literally was the case of a guy was a statue and Will bumped around him. But then Okada Elgin, I actually put 4 stars on this one. Great match. Of course, Elgin's back, and as we've talked about in this podcast, I have some mixed feelings about Michael Elgin, and I hate to admit it, that when he goes out there, he tends to deliver decent matches.
Mm-hmm. Did we talk about Juice Chase?
We didn't talk about Juice Chase from night one. I was kind of going to save that for the end.
Okay.
That way we can just kind of double back to that one towards the end. But what did you think of the Okada Elgin?
Oh, yeah, that was a solid match. I don't even think it was their best, Okada Elgin match. They had one, I can't remember when it was previously, that I thought was a little bit better. But yeah, it was a great match. Anytime, I mean, Elgin's kind of built for that, Japanese strong style. So yeah, despite his, kind of iffy history, he does fit well with this product, and I thought he looked like he belonged with Okada. So yeah, no complaints out of me.
We got to night 3, which, with the exception of the opener, this may have been the best tournament night of the this was definitely the best tournament night of the first round. You had Tenzan and Taguchi. It was a match. They gave the junior the win because, dude, it's hit the point for me now with Tenzan where all I can do the entire time he's wrestling is stare at the ankle and hope that it doesn't finally just shatter. It's like, how does that man even walk? And this is coming from a guy that has had ankle issues in the past.
Yeah, he's another one that I think they should just hide him in those tag team matches. He should not be featured at this point. He can barely move. It's a real shame because, I mean, legend over there. But I think at this point in his career, he needs to kind of take that dad status and remain in those big tag team matches where he can kind of be hidden a little bit.
Yeah, I was actually watching some old school Tenzan the other night on New Japan World, and it's like, man, it's like this guy so good back in like 99 and 2000. But now it's just, his best days are definitely behind him. But after that, you had one of my favorite matches of the entire tournament. And I had a feeling going in this was going to be a great match. And it not only met my expectations, it surpassed them. Shota Umino, the young lion, taking on the ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi. And this was awesome. Tanahashi just gave that kid so much.
This is how you make a star. I mean, really, Umino's kind of been my favorite young lion over the last few months in this last batch. So to see him get, 15 good minutes with Tanahashi and that crowd erupt, knowing full well that Umino is not going over in the first over Tanahashi on that, small package where he got the near fall. That was probably the biggest pop of the entire first round. It was a great match. It just shows you how talented Tanahashi is. and what a star Umino could potentially be if given the opportunity.
Yeah, and Kevin Kelly did such an amazing job of selling that near fall. I mean, it was, you legitimately for a second thought, oh my God, they're going to have this kid beat Tanahashi. But no, the Tanahashi gave him a ton, like you said, made him look like $1 million. I think have him in the Honor Rumble. I think he's going to be in the Honor Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to put him in. And then I would do something in the Honor Rumble that shoots him into an excursion in Ring of Honor and give him a little bit of excursion, maybe to Final Battle, maybe, to get him back in time for like a Wrestle Kingdom re-debut. Just give him enough of an excursion to get that young lion stigma off of him and then bring him back. And you have a kid he's added size, without losing any speed, incredible, just natural charisma. I love the way his selling and his facials. This is a kid that I think has the potential to be a star going forward, and this match proved it.
Yeah. Lifeblood has that opening in their group with Finley being out for 6 months, so that might be a great place to kind of plug him in there.
I didn't even think of that. That would be a great spot. After that, we had Evil and Zack Sabre Jr. I put this at 4 stars. These two guys have great chemistry.
Absolutely.
We've seen this match a couple of times, and just two guys that Evil works so well in Sabre's style. I think he actually is one of Zack's probably best opponents. Then of course we had the main event, Ibushi Naito. I rated it 4.5 stars. I mean, it was the match we thought it was going to be. I
thought they were going to kill. I thought they were going to kill each other in a couple of those spots, especially that one power bomb where he landed right on the back of his head. That was vicious. There was another spot on the corner of the apron too. I can't remember.
Yeah, we're going back about a month now. Feels like.
Yeah, but it was, and that match was fantastic, and as we'll talk about later, I can't wait to see that live here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, as soon as the results of this match kind of ended the way it did, it's like, yep, that's gonna be, they're gonna have that match in the at G1, and yeah, hey, we thought you were getting Naito versus Matt Taven, so thankfully they went the other way.
I was really worried about that. You put that out there in the atmosphere, and I was like, oh god. But then he got stuck in that ladder match, so I'm good with that.
Then we got day 4. We had Davey Boy Smith and Toru Yano. That was a steaming pile of turd. Jesus
that was
Lord.
Really bad.
Even when I say steaming pile of turd, I mean steaming pile of turd by Toru Yano standards. Steaming pile of turd. I mean, what the Davey had no clue what the hell he was supposed to do here.
No.
It's like
no chemistry at all.
Yeah, and we've seen when a guy is out there that knows how to work with Toro, they can do. I mean, him and Kenny Omega was one of the funniest, just natural things we'd ever seen. And then you can put him out there against Davey Boy Smith Jr., who just I don't know if Davey just doesn't have a sense of humor or what, but wow, it was painful to watch. And you could tell that they knew. Kevin Kelly was trying to like sugarcoat it. Kevin and was Excalibur with him by that point or not? I can't remember. But whoever they knew it was a pile of crap. Colt Cabana Togi Makabe. I gave this 2 stars, and I think I may have been a little generous here. Thankfully,
went over, which was surprising.
Well, Colt went over because if you look at the bracketing, I kind of said, "Yep, I know where this is going to go." Thankfully, the last 2 matches of the night redeemed it. Suzuki and Kojima. Again, Kojima, love the fact that when he may not be able to do it night in and night out, but every once in a while he can pull it out. Him and Suzuki going old school. And Kojima looked great in this match. Hit the cutter, near falls. Suzuki got the win. I enjoyed the match. I gave it 3.5.
Yeah, I mean, you got two guys that are over 50 years old and can still, outperform half the roster when on a, singular basis like this. I think is great. And anytime Minoru goes over, I'm a happy man.
Okay. Then we had, this was the one I want to talk about, Goto and Sonata. I gave this match 3.5. But the thing about this is, you do this gimmick going into the New Japan Cup where you have the guys in the ring pointing to their chest saying, well, they're going to be the guy. And one of them is Hiroki Goto. And he goes out in the first round to Sonata. They make this guy look like a complete geek. It's like, why is he in the ring pointing at himself saying, I'm going to win the G1, and then losing to Sonata in the first round?
And that kind of caught me off guard because he was one of the 5 guys that ran Jay off right before this tournament started. So I thought, okay, he's going to get, a little bit of a run here. And, yeah, quick and fast out of the first here. It's kind of weird.
Then we're now into day 5. We are now in the second round. Chase Owens and Yoshihashi. I didn't hate this. I'm becoming more and more of a fan of Chase. So, and Yoshi was serviceable here. So, I mean, it was what it was. I gave this 3 stars. And then we had Taichi Ishii. I've seen people say they love this match. I didn't. I gave it 2 3/4. It was fine. I did not love this. Taichi to me did not impress in this tournament at all.
Ishii did what he could to make that match what it was, but yeah, I had it right in the middle, 2.5. It wasn't great.
Yeah, I did not like this match at all. Then we get we are now day 6. The next 2 matches we had Lance Archer and Will Ospreay. I thought this is the best Lance Archer match I have ever seen.
You might be right. As far as singles goes, absolutely.
Yeah, Lance looked great here, and Will, I'm saying it again, I am praying that Will Ospreay gets a G1 run, because if he gets a G1 run and can put up the kind of matches that he can do in the G1 tournament, there are going to be people that are going to sit there at the end of the year and say, Will Ospreay may not be the IWGP champion, but he may be the best wrestler in New Japan. Because
I think it's pretty much a guarantee that he's going to be in that. I think that's why he got such a long run in the tournament here. And, just based on that match with Okada, I mean, if he can put, like you were saying, if he can put that output out night in and night out in the G1, he's going to make himself a huge star. Bigger than he already is, honestly.
They put Will over on the 2 biggest guys in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So they're making him the giant killer. That's the gimmick. Then we had Okada versus Mikey Nichols. Mikey Nichols not doing it for me. What about you?
No, not at all. He's definitely in dire need of his tag team partner to come back and hook up, because they would be great, I think, as far as filling out that juniors division. But as a singles guy, I don't see this working at all.
It was like I saw or heard a quote. I can't remember what it said. They said it was like watching Kazuchika Okada wrestle a 1986 WWF wrestler. Okada's trying to do Okada stuff, and then Nichols, for whatever reason, just tries to lock on a headlock for 10 minutes. It's like, what, why? It's like, and I don't, the mad Mikey Nichols, what's he mad about? Why is he mad? He doesn't really look mad. I mean, you're calling him something that you don't have a thing for.
Maybe he's mad because he's not as good as everyone else on the roster.
He's mad that Shane Thorne decided not to come with. That's what I'm thinking at this point. Next up, we had Tanahashi versus Ryusuke Taguchi. This was really fun.
For what it was, it wasn't too bad. I wasn't expecting much. I'm not a huge, fan of Taguchi, but it was not too bad at all.
Well, I always say this about Taguchi is that when he, again, one of those guys that he does the comedy stuff, but I mean, you go back a couple years to that Best of the Super Junior run, when he needs, he can pull it out when he needs to, and I think he kind of did it with Tanahashi here. Obviously, you knew at this point Tanahashi's going over here. This match to me really wasn't in doubt at all, but they pulled a good one together. Then we got Kota Ibushi, Zack Sabre Jr. I got this match at 4.5 stars. This was incredible, and I'll just say it. End of the match, my jaw just hit the floor.
I couldn't believe it, and I know the New Japan Cup is kind of known for upsets, and this, I don't even necessarily know if I'd classify this as an upset, but I think Ibushi was penciled in everywhere so much that I kind of just assumed that it was written in stone, and they really are trying to make Zack Sabre Jr. Mr. New Japan Cup over this last 2-year run. And I was just completely shocked that he not only beat him, but beat him in the manner in which he did.
Yeah, beat him, tapping him out with the orienteering with Napalm Death. I mean, like I said, I'm like, Ibushi's gonna like power out of this somehow. He's gonna get to the ropes. And then all of a sudden he just taps it. I'm like, whoa, what the hell was that? But I mean, obviously they know where they're going at that point, and you accomplished what you needed to when he defeated Naito. And I guess if you're not gonna have Ibushi win the tournament, that's as good of a spot as any to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Colt Cabana versus Toru Yano. Now, this is the Toru Yano match that you actually have fun with. Obviously, with Cabana and Yano, it was complete gaga. It was fun. I generously gave it a 3-star rating.
I mean, they're basically essentially doppelgangers. They do similar shtick. I mean, for what it was fine. I would imagine they're going to cross paths again in the Honor Rumble.
There's going to be, and you figure there's going to be a few other guys in the Honor Rumble you can kind of get in there with in that kind of a situation. Obviously, we all know, let's face it, we all know we're going to get Cheeseburger in the Honor Rumble. Grown. And we got Suzuki and Sonata. I'm not ranking this one as high as some people are. I've seen people say this was like the best match of the tournament. I didn't quite go that far. I put it at 3.5. It was good. It wasn't great. Part of it for me is Sonata's just dry. He's a great wrestler, cool look, but and I get that the cold stone gimmick works for him, or cold skull, not cold stone. We're not getting ice cream. The cold stone gimmick works for him, cold skull again. But it's like at some point you got to show some fire if you're gonna, especially if you always hear the narrative that this is gonna be Sonata's time. He's gonna become a main event guy. It's like, eventually he's going to have to show some type of a fire, some type of a charisma that I just don't get from him.
Not at all. This isn't even their best match together. I thought the match they had a month or so ago was much better. I was a little disappointed with this one, and I totally get your criticism with Sonata. I don't really know what to say about that. Part of me kind of likes that he's stoic and keeps to himself, and I know they're really playing on this, mental health piece that he has, like, anxiety or whatever. I forget what they labeled it as, but I get it. I think over there you need to have that babyface fire, that be able to rev yourself up, and he hasn't really shown that yet.
Or even if they want to push him as a heel, you have to have a way to connect, essentially, as a dick. Suzuki, you legitimately fear this guy if you say the wrong word, may kill you. Jay White's an asshole. Even like God, they have their gimmick to get heat. What's your deal, bro? Tell me. Give me something. I don't see it.
He could be the aloof asshole if they wanted to turn him heel, where he just doesn't talk to anyone, kind of standoffish. I mean, they could work that. I don't think they really necessarily have anyone that's like that.
Yeah, he can go either way. But moving on, next match we had Ishii versus Yoshihashi. I gave this one 3.5, man. Yoshi, Yoshi brought his working shoes. He made it to the ring. He didn't fall. He didn't trip over his own feet. And then Ishii beat him up a little bit, and I said that I get a certain sense of glee every time that Ishii chopped or kicked him. It's like I'm hoping that with every Ishii chop and kick that Yoshi's reevaluating his career choice.
He's never gonna hurt him as bad as that floor did.
Well, the combination of the floor and the ring apron.
Yeah.
Let's be in all seriousness again. It's one of those things where it's a miracle that Hebrew could have easily broken his neck and died. So I don't necessarily want to make jokes about that. I've always said for years that ever since the day it happened that Titus O'Neil's just lucky there wasn't an LED board there when he slid, because if he slid into an LED board, he may have broken his neck. But no, I thought Ishii got a good match. Ishii and Yoshi had a good match. Obviously, two guys that know each other. They've been tag team partners before, so and they worked well. They actually worked well together here. So not a bad match for Ishii and Yoshi. Then we had Okada Ospreay, a rematch from the anniversary show of last year where they put on a clinic. This one, it was a little shorter, so I didn't give it. It wasn't quite as good, but still, I put this at 4.25. Great match. I know Okada Will basically has openly said he looks at Okada as almost a mentor type figure. So, and I think that's it. Those two have great chemistry. I was happy to see them throw this match on here, and I mean, put them in the same block in the G1. Let's go for round 3.
It'd be a great place to start off in Dallas. You're looking for big matchups in that first round. I mean, why not?
Well, and my thing is, if you throw it in the G1, you can give Will a win there.
Absolutely.
You could get, if you throw it in the G1, you do them, Gato with his abacus sits there and figures it all out. He could, I give Gato all the credit in the world, because I can't, how do you figure that out? I've tried in years past to sit there and actually do the math, and it literally, I've sit here with a legal pad for 2 hours just trying to figure it out, and it literally have smoke coming out of my ears by the time I'm done. But no, this great match for Okada and Will. Then we had Colt Cabana versus Sonata. They tried to sell the underdog story. It's his first time in New Japan, and he's made it to the Sweet Six. He's made it to the Elite Eight, and it's no. I keep in mind, I'm a Midwestern guy. I grew up on Colt Cabana wrestling matches. Colt Cabana has been on. I've worked shows. I've worked in matches with Colt Cabana. A lot of people may not know that. And Colt's a great dude. And I give Colt all the credit in the world, because the style of wrestling that he does, he can literally do till he's in his 60s, because it doesn't take a toll on his body, and it gets over, especially with the live crowd. And he got over with the Japanese crowd. Good for him. And match with Sonata was decent. I will give him credit for going a little more serious here, doing some wrestling, because Colt can wrestle. I absolutely, no doubt about it. He's a great wrestling commentator, but I'm like, they're not gonna put Colt Cabana. They're not gonna put Colt Cabana in the finals of the New Japan Cup. You got anything you want to add on that one?
No. I assumed this was just going to be whoever wins this match is going to be fodder for whoever came out of the next match, but Man, was I wrong about that.
Yeah. We get Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. This match, again, I love these two guys. They've got incredible chemistry. I mean,
little surprised that Tanahashi went over, honestly. And now that I saw the G1 card, I kind of understand why. But from what I understand, he's working with a pretty considerable knee injury. So I was kind of surprised that he,
well, and dude, when is Tanahashi not injured?
This is true.
It's not a question of if Tanahashi's injured. It's more of a question of how bad at this point. Because the guy will not take time off, and he's always going to come in with something wrapped up to hell with tape. It's part of, to me, it's become part of his charm. As long as he doesn't get seriously injured, which I pray never happens because the guy is amazing. But yeah, no, this great match. I like you. I thought they were going to put Zach over here. I thought they were going to make him, Mr. G1, but didn't quite go to that length.
I think he might get his opportunity here in a couple weeks, though.
Yeah. Then we had my match of the entire tournament, Kazuchika Okada and Tomohiro Ishii. I actually woke up early that morning and actually watched this match live. This was, to me, better than the one they had in the G1 a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah. If you need an example as to why Ishii should be much higher on the card than he is, you need to check out this match. And that's what makes it such, a travesty to me that he's not in a featured match in that show in New York. I honestly think he might be over more in the United States than he is in Japan. I mean, he's always been a huge part of these Western expansion shows, and he was just absolutely fantastic in this match. I kind of started to think maybe they were going to push him into that, main event shot at MSG and, pair Okada and Tanahashi, because they've been kind of tagging on and off over the beginning of this year. But really, yeah, I totally agree with you. This is by far, to me, the best match of the tournament. Can't say enough good things about Ishii.
I mean, and that match kind of overshadowed the next match. Tanahashi Sonata. Great match. I went 4 1/4 on this one. I mean, these semifinal matches were exactly what the New Japan Cup is supposed to be. And normally it wasn't even the match of the night because the two guys before them just absolutely crushed it. But no, this was a great match. I wasn't shocked especially when Okada went over. I kind of had a feeling. I said, they're going to put Sonata over because why waste an Okada-Tanahashi match that you don't need to waste?
The only thing I thought that would possibly happen is because Sonata was in the final, no one was going to think Sonata was going to MSG and main eventing that show. So I thought maybe they would put Tanahashi over for the simple fact they could definitely see Tanahashi in that main event. But I'm kind of glad that they didn't. Again, like I've mentioned on prior episodes, I'm a big fan of Sonata. Despite the flaws that we kind of pointed out today, I think he can be a star if given the opportunity. So I was kind of glad to see him get this run in this tournament.
Then we get to the final day, the New Japan Cup final. I'm just going to say real quick that I actually watched this entire show Sunday morning, and this card, to me, with the exception of maybe Tanahashi and Ospreay versus Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr., the entire undercard was guys just, I don't know if they were just tired out, whatever. Did you watch the entire show?
I did. It was not a great show, and I definitely got the feeling that they were tired from this long, tour.
There were a lot of 2-star specials on this card. Like I said, I gave Will and Tanahashi versus Taichi and Zack 3 stars. Everything except for the last 2 matches. If you have not watched the New Japan Cup final day yet, you can literally treat it like a tournament and skip to the last 2. Second to last, semi-main event of the show, we had Juice versus Chase Owens for the U.S. title. Before we get into this match, we're going to preview the G1 Supercard here in just a couple minutes. It says a lot about the New Japan United States Championship. It's in the semi-main here. It's the U.S. title. It's not even on the G1 Supercard show.
No. And how much Gaga could they stuff in this damn match? They had more run-ins and more bullshit. I swear to God, I thought Vince McMahon might have booked this match. Because
this was Gato at his Memphis-y best, right?
Holy hell, yes. Memphis is that's perfect.
But I always say you can tell there's a part of Gato every once in a while where you can tell that he loves old school USW. Like somehow, back in the day, he was getting old school USWA tapes because Gato loves Memphis, and this was as Memphis-y as you can make a match. Jesus, how many people, Jado, Fale, Mikey Nichols why is Mikey Nichols doing a run? And is he joining Lifeblood? I don't know. He's supposed to be in Chaos. It was a fun match. I went 3.5 on it. I really like both these guys. I like Chase. I was actually kind of hoping Chase was going to go over here. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I mean, you might as well if they're not going to have a U.S. title match on their biggest show so far this year. In the States, at least. Why not? With as much Gaga as was going on in that match, I wouldn't have been surprised if he did go over. But, for whatever reason, they decided to keep it on Juice.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that's basically a Lifeblood Ring of Honor type deal. They're going to keep it on Juice at least for a while. Then we got the New Japan Cup final. Okada versus Sonata. I went 4.5 here. This match was phenomenal. You get Okada, Sonata. We've seen these guys have good chemistry. And again, when Sonata wants to work, he can work, and he was definitely working here. Of course, Okada is literally the definition of can get a good match out of a broomstick if he has to. But really, these guys worked their asses off. They made you think for a second. I'm like, well, I mean, if you're gonna, and even in my head while watching the match, I'm like, if you're gonna have Jay go over at G1, Sonata wouldn't be a bad guy. I mean, the building's already sold out, but Okada picks up the victory here, and I'll save what the repercussions of that are for when we get to G1. But what did you think of the match overall?
Pretty solid final. I was pretty happy with it. I thought Sonata looked like he belonged there. Good match. Okada, kind of walked him through a pretty good match. Outcome was expected. I didn't really feel like Sonata was ever going to go over, but I agree. Had they put him in there, I think Jay and Sonata would have had a perfectly serviceable match, but I think you'd have had 20,000 pissed off people in that building.
Yeah, I think that I was thinking to myself, it's like, well, the building is already sold out. Do you go there? But I'm like, no, that would, Twitter would have had a meltdown if they would have had Sonata in the main event. But New Japan Cup overall, really good wrestling. Like I said, if you haven't watched, if you're behind and you need to get caught up before the G1 Supercard, just watch tournament matches. It's the undercard stuff. There's a lot of 2.5 star specials. It's skippable. But that brings us, Gary, to WrestleMania weekend. I'm jealous.
I'm very excited now. Now that this card has finally been released and I get to see what I'm going there for, I am very pleasantly surprised the amount of talent that have made it onto this card.
You and our boy Court Montgomery are going to be in the building live. So, but as we go through it, we'll start literally. And again, one thing I love, it is a New Japan card, so we get the absolute exact order of matches At least they didn't let Ring of Honor ROH that one up. I'm going to say right off this, man. To me, this is a New Japan card that they shoehorned about 3 Ring of Honor matches into it.
Have you been on the Ring of Honor website?
Why? No,
so if you go on there and look at the details of the card, the G1 Supercard on theirs, it's only the Ring of Honor only matches on there. And there's literally only 3 matches that are Ring of Honor only. Yeah, it looks ridiculous.
It's been very interesting to see how both these companies are working together, but the marketing for it literally says nothing about the other company, respectively. No. It's like, I don't know if this is necessarily the best relationship anymore. I think Gato's sitting there going, how soon can I call Kenny in the Bucks? So now we do, for those who were unhappy that the Rambo was not on Wrestle Kingdom this year, and honestly, the best way to get everybody that they need to get in kind of shoehorned into the card here, we're going to open it up with a 30-man Honor Rumble. The one announced person for this is Jushin Thunder Liger. We'll go through this. I'm going to kind of go through this, and this, of course, we're going to kind of bury the lead here because I'm going to kind of list off the potential people for both companies that are going to be in this. Because guys not booked in matches right now: Sho, Yo, Taguchi, Makabe, Yano, Fale, Bushi, Chase Owens, Davey Boy Smith Jr., El Desperado, Hokuleo, Goto, Tenzan, Archer, Elgin, Mikey Nichols, Suzuki, Robbie Eagles, Kojima, Shingo, Taichi, Taka Michinoku, Hanare, Honma, Ishii, Yoshihashi, Nagata, and Yujiro Takahashi. Obviously, we're not going to get everybody. The thing is, I've been trying to kind of go through, actually, and see who's already booked for other stuff that weekend. Obviously, the Bullet Club guys are going to be in this. They're in there for the Bullet Club block party. I was trying to think, when is MLW? Is that Thursday, Friday, or Friday and Saturday?
I think it's Thursday, Friday.
Okay, so I was thinking, is Davey Boy Smith going to be able to do this? Because he might have MLW. I will cross one name off, I think. I don't think we see Elgin.
No, I don't think so either.
I think that they've stayed away from him on all American shows. I think that trend is going to continue. I think we're definitely going to get obviously the Bullet Club. We're probably going to get a few legends. I definitely would love to see Nagata.
Kojima.
We'll get Kojima. Goto for sure. But yeah. Then we go. I'll give you real quick. I actually got the Ring of Honor side. Ring of Honor people not booked. Pure City Bruiser, Brian Malonis, Cheeseburger, Colt Cabana, Delirious, Flip Gordon, Jonathan Gresham, Juice Robinson, Kenny King, PJ Black, Mark Haskins, Rhett Titus, Rocky Romero, Shane Taylor, Silas Young, TK O'Ryan, and Vinny Marseglia. Okay, here's the list of people that I think are going to be in this. Cheeseburger, Colt Cabana, Delirious. I would have said Flip Gordon. However, Flip apparently tweeted out that he had his knee lock up on him again and has a doctor's appointment tomorrow.
Oh.
So Flip may have suffered a setback with his injury. I know he was due to return this Sunday. That status is now up in question, it would appear. You're going to get Juice. I think you're going to get the members of the Kingdom, mainly because you're going to have the obvious one where it's going to be some time for somebody's entrance, and the balloons are going to come up from underneath the ring for Vinny Marseglia. So at the very least, we're going to get Vinny Marseglia. But I think this match is going to be fun. I will tell you right now, there's no way Liger's not winning this, right?
I would hope. I mean, considering he's the only one they've announced so far, which is kind of weird.
and it's the fact this is, he's retiring at Wrestle Kingdom. It's in MSG. He's, he literally is a living legend. I think this is the spot where Liger gets the win, big emotional celebration, and he gets his moment in the ring, basically to salute the American fan base for potentially the final time.
Be perfectly okay with that.
Then we move on to the first actual match, unification match, title for title, Will Ospreay versus Jeff Cobb. We saw this match at Honor Rising. Will got the victory, and then got the victory in a tag match. Do you think Cobb's getting his win back, or is Will going to get the win?
It's hard to say because Cobb has been on a roll in Ring of Honor. He's been practically, untouched there. And I'd love to see him in New Japan more. So getting that never openweight title on him would definitely facilitate that. So, and plus he has to get I would imagine he's going to get his win back. So yeah, I kind of think Cobb might, take the win here early on.
I kind of see Cobb, but they've had guys win the TV title before and give them quick runs. We had Ishii. I think somebody else won it really fast from New Japan for a quick run. This match to me was Kushida won the TV title for a brief run. So this could really go either way. You could have Will win it, and then, he comes in and does a couple TV tapings, maybe drops it at the next pay-per-view. Or you could have Cobb win and then set up Cobb doing some more New Japan dates. Either way, for me, I think it's a win-win situation. So, and I think this match is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, totally smart to put this on first, too, I think. I think this will really heat the crowd up.
Well, you're going to have the Rumble, and then you're going to have this. So
yeah, well, the first on the main card.
Yeah.
The Rumble's in the pre-show or whatever.
And then, well, I don't really think there's a pre-show on this. I think everything's kind of just everything. At least New Japan World shows everything listed. So it says opening match and first match. So I don't know. I'm assuming with the streaming services that we're gonna get the whole card. So
I would hope so.
Then we get to the next match: Dalton Castle versus Roosh. Why is this here?
Dalton Castle's been on a massive losing streak and then decided to randomly challenge Roosh at the last pay-per-view. So I think they just want...
That's your storyline reason. What I'm saying is, why is this here?
I honestly have no clue.
Why is this match booked as opposed to somebody else that you can build better? To me, the glaring exception on the Ring of Honor side, where the hell is Jonathan Gresham?
I have no clue. And to me, there's a worse match on this card, which is next, that to me does not belong at all. But in comparison to the other ones, this one doesn't bother me nearly as much as that one. And I think they want to push Roosh really hard. I mean, he pretty much steamrolled Bandito at the pay-per-view. And I think getting him a win in MSG over a former Ring of Honor champion, I think, is kind of the goal of this match.
And the question then lies: is this possibly Dalton's last appearance? Time will tell. Mm-hmm. And then we get to Maya Iwatani versus Kelly Klein. Hey, Gary, how fast can you make it to the restroom and back?
We're going to find out that day because this is definitely what's going to happen. Their first match was decent. The second one was terrible. I don't understand why this is happening. To me, this is if there's going to be a pre-show fodder match, this would have been the one I would have picked. When you have guys like Ishii and Suzuki not on this card, this one's really a head scratcher for me. I don't get this one at all.
Now here's the thing, and I should have prefaced this with something. I am not in any way, shape, or form crapping on women's wrestling and saying don't belong here. Of course, because you get that there is that narrative out there from certain people that New Japan needs to have women's wrestling and blah, blah, blah. I'm not crapping on women's wrestling at all. I love women's wrestling. I will be watching a ton of it WrestleMania weekend. I'm a huge advocate of women's wrestling. There is a 10 women's tag on Black Label Pro that I am really looking forward to. The thing here is this match. First off, the Women of Honor division is terrible. It's
awful,
bad. They don't put any thought process into it whatsoever. I mean, they haven't even done a great job of holding on to the female talent that they do bring in. Madison Rayne just bailed on them. When Madison Rayne says, "Hey, I'm not getting booked enough. I'm not getting used properly. This division stinks, and I'm leaving," that's bad. All Elite's women's division is already better than
absolutely.
the Women of Honor. When there's so many guys that you could have put in this spot, why do we have to force? And I feel like you're doing this to go against the criticism about not having women's wrestling.
I honestly think that's the only reason.
You kind of caved here to me. And that's almost it.
I don't even hate these two as talents. I like Kelly Klein. I like Iwatani. I just think on this type of card, this isn't a match that I would put on there. Even if they would have put a traditional 5-on-5 New Japan match, have 5 random New Japan guys against 5 random Ring of Honor guys, and cover 10 minutes just to get guys like Ishii and Suzuki and Goto on the card. In a more prominent position in that Rumble would have made a lot more sense than trying to get this title match on there, or a U.S. title match for that matter.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on. 4th match, we have the New York City Street Fight Open Challenge. Bully Ray has issued the Open Challenge and said, "You know who I'm talking to, Punk." Folks, it ain't CM Punk. It's not going to be Punk. Don't get your hopes up. He ain't coming. He ain't sitting there. He's sitting in Chicago watching a Blackhawks game on April 6th.
I honestly think it's going to be Flip. But if he's hurt, then I don't know who. I'm rooting for Ishii. Honestly, I think that would make sense.
Ishii is the guy. The other one that I think you threw it up on Ringside Chat. And especially if Flip can't go, if you need somebody else, MSG, that crowd, they're going to be pretty hot, and they're going to want to sing a song.
Yes.
They're going to want to sing. And imagine Bully on a mic, and then all of a sudden, the sweet, sweet melodious tones of a voice hits, and a man walks to the ring with a towel on his head, and the entire MSG gets to scream, "Kazaninare." And then Minoru Suzuki just literally beats the piss out of Bully Ray. That's what I want to happen.
Okay, you have me sold now. I want that now.
I have this image of the entire crowd at MSG singing the Kazaninare. So I kind of have a feeling it's like, could we give just Bully Ray getting his ass whipped by Minoru Suzuki? But it's like I said, there's really not much to cover because we don't even know who the opponent is for sure. But I'll tell you one thing: it ain't CM Punk.
No, not at all. I wouldn't even want to see a Bully Ray CM Punk match, let alone a street fight.
Yeah, that's the thing. That match sounds awful.
Real bad.
Oh. But then we get to the 5th match, and I feel like at this point the card really starts to kind of heat up. We get the IWGP Junior Heavyweight 3-way triple threat. It is the champion Taiji Ishimori defending against the representative from AAA, Dragon Lee, against the representative from Ring of Honor, Bandito. This has the potential to be the show stealer of the card, I think, if they give this match time and these guys do what I think they can do.
Yeah, honestly, out of all the matches I'm looking forward to, maybe outside of Naito and Ibushi, this one is the one that caught my eye the most. I am, hoping and praying they give Bandito a win here, and that just locks him into some more New Japan work, because I think he would be fantastic in that division. And I think he would get over like Rover in Japan too. I just think this match could be, yeah, like you said, the match of the night, dark horse contender for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to. I was looking forward to this match the second they announced it. I'm a huge fan of all three of these guys, so I'm definitely thinking they're gonna kill it. I'm not even sure. I kind of think of Ishimori retaining here, but
Probably.
I think Bandito winning is always a possibility. Up next, a match that has undergone a little bit of a change. We thought we were going to get the Briscoes versus the Guerrillas of Destiny, and then we thought we were going to get the Guerrillas of Destiny versus Brody King and PCO, and then the card comes out, and it's a fatal four-way.
Because why not?
We got Tama Tonga and Tangaloa, the Guerrillas of Destiny, the IWGP Tag Team Champions versus the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, Brody King and PCO, versus Sonata and Evil from Los Ingobernables versus the Briscoes, and the winner of the fall is taking home both tag team championships. Yeah, it's a good way to get everybody on the card.
It's kind of a weird stipulation, though, because you could have Evil and Sonata beat the Briscoes and take both titles away from both champions without ever beating the champion.
I actually kind of like that scenario here. And my question is, how did Evil and Sonata get here again? The Briscoes made the original challenge, at least, so there's a reason they're here. It just seems like, hey, we're just going to randomly throw Evil and Sonata in here for some reason.
I think they put the last four champions, the last two Ring of Honor champions and the last two IWGP champions.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be fun because I think with four teams, essentially it becomes a no DQ. I think that way these guys, all of these four of these teams are really accomplished at brawling. So we know Brody King and PCO are probably going to do something insane.
I was going to ask you, what kind of crazy bullshit PCO going to do this match?
Is that entryway from the old MSG still there at all? Because I see PCO doing some crazy ass flip dive off that like old school hard cam facing entranceway. Something like that. Brody and PCO are just gonna annihilate their bodies. If you have not yet, and you're listening to this and you haven't yet, if you haven't been able to, go to the ROH 17th anniversary show and watch Mark and Jay Briscoe versus Brody King and PCO. That match was the ultimate definition of a car crash.
Oh my God. Yeah.
In beautiful, beautiful, beautiful violence. Brody King and PCO scare me some days. And I've seen Brody King do it live, and it's unsettling to watch it some days live. I saw Brody King and Jimmy Jacobs versus Jessica Havoc and Sami Callihan at an AEW show, where I was worried for their safety, and I was worried for, the safety of everybody within about the first 5 rows of ringside. So yeah, I'm very, very, very interested to see how this match goes. And like I said, could we see the Briscoes get a win? Could Sonata and Evil get the win? I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say the Guerrillas of Destiny.
I kind of want to see PCO and Brody King win that. I just want to see PCO in Japan. That's
PCO in Japan, especially if he plays up the gimmick. Mm-hmm. I think can get so over with that Japanese crowd. Like have him do the old Izuka entrance where he comes just running through the crowd, scaring the shit out of little Japanese people. Then we get to the 7th match for the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship. Zack Sabre Jr. taking on Tanahashi. After the New Japan Cup match, man, I was very happy to see this on the card.
Yeah, I thought for sure the United States title match would get, and this would be held for those UK shows later on in the year. So to see this pop up on there was definitely a happy surprise for me, because I think this, like we were just talking about, they had a hell of a tournament match, so I think they're going to really turn it up a notch in the Garden.
Yeah, and these are two guys that definitely deserve a Garden spot. So, I mean, obviously, we knew Tanahashi was going to get something. You had to think they were going to give Sabre something, but these two guys going against each other here, fourth from the top. I think this should be a great match. Do you think Zack retains, or do we get Tanahashi as the Rev Pro champion?
I kind of think Zack's going to retain here, just because he's going to get his win back from the tournament. But it would not shock me if Tanahashi goes over. Give him his moment in MSG.
Well, and then you could always play up, obviously, the knee being wrapped. You could always play it up, and then he has to tap out with the knee injury. So you could go either way there. Then we give the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, Naito versus Ibushi. Is it wrong that, as happy as I am that this match is on the card, it's bittersweet, because you know that the original plan for MSG was probably going to be a Kenny Omega Kota Ibushi match, and it's almost like Naito Ibushi's going to be great, but it's like Kenny and Kota would have been so much better.
Oh yeah, a lot better. But all things considered, I'm not going to be too upset about that. As long as they give it, an appropriate amount of time to kind of heat up, I think this, again, one of those matches that could honestly steal the card.
Again, let's be straight up. You're just happy that we didn't get a Naito versus Matt Taven or a Naito Sonata and Evo versus the Kingdom 6-man.
And that's really what I was worried about. I thought they were going to, you put that out there, and I'm just like, oh, God, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. And, yeah, when I saw that come out, that it was, official, that he's in that ladder match, he's going to stay in that ladder match, I'm perfectly okay with that. You stay in Ring of Honor, keep your, Ring of Honor germs in your Ring of Honor match, and leave Ibushi and Naito to make me very happy.
Speaking of Ring of Honor, we do have one more Ring of Honor match. And, I mean, you see 1, 2, 3. I mean, you have two matches that are essentially co-branded here, but I mean, they're for New Japan titles. Then you have 2 New Japan matches, and then, yeah, it's the ROH World title. It's in a ladder match, so we got to put it second from the top. We got Lethal versus Matt Taven versus Marty Scurll. If they don't give Marty the belt, I'm just gonna. If you potentially have this guy, you give him at least a couple month run, have him drop it at a pay-per-view to somebody, whether it's Taven or whether it's somebody else, and then you have him put somebody over on the way out, and then you let him go to All Elite Wrestling gracefully. Or you try to re-sign him. I'm not sure you're going to. He's more than likely on borrowed time in ROH. Although I did get a kick out of, I'm not sure if you saw the video of someone from C2E2 getting an autograph from Marty Scurll wearing an All Elite Wrestling t-shirt, and he said, AEW, aren't they just a t-shirt company? So, yeah, and I also love the fact that because obviously the Elite, the Bucks and Kenny were at C2E2 doing autograph signings for Pro Wrestling Tees, as was Marty. If you notice, conveniently, they were at they were like in different slots. They were never in the same place at the same time, because all my friends were dead. Which I thought that, I'm like, that had to be done on purpose. Just I watched this week being the Elite. I was kind of hoping maybe there'd be a little wink and a nod to Marty, but nothing. So obviously they're playing that one pretty close to the vest. But I think this match will be good. I think there's going to be a lot of gaga because I think you're going to see the Kingdom get involved. I think you're going to see Villain Enterprises get involved. I think you're going to see Jonathan Gresham and maybe Lifeblood gets involved on behalf of Lethal. I really want Marty to win, but I can almost see them pulling the trigger on Taven here, since it also is the fact of this is not your main event match of the card.
It would also not shock me if Aldis gets involved, because he has made mention on several occasions on Ring of Honor programming he wants that title. And I would imagine it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for Skrull to win this title and then have that match with Aldis a couple weeks later and Aldis take both titles. It would not surprise me one bit at all.
Yeah, you're talking about a unification with the NWA belt too, and so yeah, there's a lot that can go on there. I think it's going to be overbooked.
Sure.
I mean, we saw Lethal and Taven have a hell of a match. I mean, I said it best. I never thought I have a very short list of people I want to see wrestle for an hour. Never thought Jay Lethal and Matt Taven would be on that list, but yet they went out and they pulled it off. And now you're going to add Marty and Ladders. So I think, and obviously these guys, everybody on this card is going to bring everything that they have. So even though we kind of say, it's shoehorned in, it's this and that, it'll be good. Like I said, and it's so much, I want Marty, but I'm really intrigued to see where Ring of Honor is going here. Then we get to your IWGP Heavyweight Championship match. It is Jay White, the champion, the Switchblade, defending against the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. Gary, lie to me and tell me it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. But I definitely think Okada's going over. I think it's a terrible idea. I think it kind of undercuts him in the middle of his, rise here. But I can't see them putting Jay White over in MSG in front of that crowd. I think you'd have a Roman Reigns winning the title-esque response if that occurs. Not for me, but I think that's what's going to happen.
As soon as Okada got the pinfall in the New Japan Cup, I said, yep, they want the iconic shot of Okada standing there with the title, with the confetti and the dollar and the Okada bucks raining down from the ceiling. And that's how we're going to make the statement in MSG. And business-wise, it's the smart thing to do. Creative-wise, and it kills. There's a part of my soul that just it rips out because I've been gone on record. I'm the biggest Jay. I legitimately think I might be the biggest Jay fan in the world. But it does undercut him to have. But I mean, we've seen these short title reigns before. Unfortunately, the last instance of that is Naito, and well, the track record on that isn't very good. But you can always have Jay get the win back at some point down the line. Okada's already got the record, so he doesn't necessarily need to hold the title for very long. I think it's no question to me that Okada is winning here. I think they're going to go out. They're going to have a killer match. Essentially, it's going to be Okada, Rainmaker, step back, Switchblade, goes for the Switchblade, spin out, right into another Rainmaker. 1, 2, 3. Okada gets the victory. But yeah, I think that's how we're going to go off the air.
Most likely. Now, the only, silver lining with that is if Okada goes over, I think Jay White gets a hell of a run in the G1, possibly wins the G1, because, what better way to kind of, give him his steam back than to win the G1?
The problem there, I still think Naito wins the G1. I think Naito's winning the G1. And I think Naito may finally get his time at Wrestle Kingdom. Whether he's and if they're gonna do it and they're gonna do it right, I think you have to have Okada basically carry the title to Wrestle Kingdom and then Naito beats him.
I wouldn't hate that either.
I think if you look down the road, I think that's kind of where you're gonna head. But obviously, like I said, Gary, you're gonna be there live. Real quick, what other shows are you going to?
So right now I have the Impact show on Thursday, which is really stacked. I mean, it's a really good card. Possibly Black Label Pro, most likely Black Label Pro. And then I have Janela Night 1. And then I'm going to House of Glory to see Great Muta and Tajiri on Saturday afternoon. And then I'm hopping on a train and I'll be at the G1.
Is that Muta's only appearance for the weekend?
He has some autograph signings at WrestleCon, but as far as a match, that's the only match.
I'm almost, because I'm gonna be ordering the iPay-per-view, the WrestleCon Super Show, because this is the first time that the WrestleCon Super Show has ever been live, and part of the aura of the WrestleCon Super Show is I think they only have about 3 matches announced for it, and then they kind of do the mystery vortex thing of whoever comes out of the curtain. I think last year that's how they did the big 10-man tag they always do. And I think the 10th guy out was Tanahashi. I'm almost wondering, is there a scenario where this year the 10th guy out of that curtain blows green mist in the air and it's the Great Muta?
That would be awesome.
It's like, that would be amazing. I mean, his knees are completely gone. So if you're going to do anything with him, put him in a 10-man tag so he doesn't have to do a whole lot and just let him literally chop, kick, maybe one dragon elbow if he can hit it, and then green mist somebody. That's all that matters.
Well, a staple of the Honor Rumble is bringing back legends. What bigger legend to bring back on your biggest stage than Muta?
We didn't talk about that. That is a scenario that is a potential, and I think we are going to see a couple surprises in that Rumble. Maybe can we get Juicy Gambino again?
Oh, God.
Dino Gambino. He comes out. Who the hell is this guy? that was Baba Tunde in the Greatest Royal Rumble level. It's like, what the frick? I was going. Somebody was going down a list of potential legends that are in town. You could throw Shinjiro Otani in there, because he's going to be in town. There's a lot of guys that have had New Japan stuff. I know his knees can't do it. It's like, damn it, I would have loved MSG, Wild Thing Cranks, and out comes Onita for the Rumble. It's like, I don't think he can do it. He's only doing autograph signings now. It's like, because he just had double knee replacement surgery. It's like, dude, that would have been amazing.
Which was a big reason why I got Janela tickets, was to see Onita. And, yeah, that's not happening now. Getting Otani, though, so.
It's still Joey Janela's spring break.
He's coming back, so.
Yeah. Really quick, I'll pull it up. I actually have a doc for myself and Alex McCarthy to track what we're watching for WrestleMania weekend. So I do have an IW Independent Wrestling.tv subscription, which if you're like me and you're not going, pay the $10. I think you can actually do a promo code right now, get 20 days for free.
Yep.
Because actually for Independent Wrestling.tv starting on Wednesday night, because they have the premiere episode of Beyond Wrestling Uncharted Territory, which we'll be checking out. So, and they have a loaded lineup for that because everybody's going to be essentially on their way to the East Coast. So why not stop over in Massachusetts really quick and do a Beyond booking? I know SCU is on the show, but it's a loaded first show for them. Essentially, for those who may not know, if you're listening to this only from New Japan, Beyond Wrestling going to be doing a thing with Independent Wrestling.tv called Uncharted Territory, a weekly 2-hour live independent wrestling TV show every Wednesday night going forward, and I think that's a great. It's going to be awesome to see. I know a couple guys that are booked for it that are really, really excited for what the plans are for that. So that's going to be on Wednesday night, and if you're heading to the New York area, man, me and Alex are going to do a thing. I said, are we going to review every show? It's like. Let's talk about Pizza Party Wrestling on Wednesday night. Real quick, because I know you went to Black Label Pro. Did you see the Voices of Wrestling, Joe Lanza's rant about WrestleMania weekend?
No.
Lanza basically went on a rant about how there are too many shows and how you're getting 14 Swoggle bookings in a weekend, and which that's true. But for whatever reason, he singled out Black Label Pro. He really, really hammered on Black Label Pro, which, like I said, I attended live last month and thought they put on a hell of a show. They do a really cool, unique type of indie show where they book guys that not everybody's booking. Essentially, they mix up a little bit of Chikara guys with a little bit of Alpha 1 guys with a little bit of AIW with a little bit of just bringing in, names whoever they can get, and that show is freaking loaded. They're doing we'll get to that here in a minute, but my schedule, like I said, Beyond Wrestling Uncharted Territory on Wednesday. Thursday, IW Independent Wrestling.tv Family Reunion Show, which again, if you have the Independent Wrestling.tv service, is included. Then I'm watching Bloodsport, and then I'm watching the WrestleCon Super Show. I was specifically told no late night shows on Thursday because Alex is a school teacher and can't stay up that late. I may haul myself home, and if I'm still wide awake, I may end up watching the Impact show because I think is that at like 10 o'clock at night?
11.
Well, 11 East Coast time, so 10 o'clock for me.
Oh, yeah, 10, yeah.
So Central time. Then Friday, I've got Chikara on IndependentWrestling.tv, Black Label Pro on IndependentWrestling.tv, and NXT TakeOver. And then, again, the potential is always there to add a late night show, which I believe Friday night would be Blackcraft, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Blackcraft, which has a really cool lineup on it. Then I've got Saturday, Orange Cassidy is doing something or whatever, which we've got Teddy Hart's Reading Rainbow. I don't even know what it is, but I know I totally want to watch it. And then we've got the Best Friends, Chuck and Trent in a 1-minute time limit match. Nick Gage versus Ultramantis Black in a Yuletide death match. So, and just an Orange Cassidy themed show is going to be great. That, of course, that is on IndependentWrestling.tv, taking the spot left that was held originally by Nova Pro because F Nova Pro. Yeah.
What happened with that?
The promoter was apparently stealing money from his wife and then taking that money and still not paying talent that worked his shows. And then apparently it's come out from several female wrestling fans on Twitter, prominent female wrestling fans on Twitter, if you know the Twitter fan base, that basically say he was was propositioning females. And there are other rumors that, since we're still recording, I'm not even going to go into that I have heard. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, so they gave up that spot. Game Changer Wrestling took it and said, well, we've done Joey Janela theme shows. We do all this other stuff. Who can we give a theme show to? Orange Cassidy, who is a very unique individual. So I'm looking forward to that. 3 p.m. IWS, because it's on IndependentWrestling.tv. It's one of the shows I'm like, okay, I get this anyway, so I might as well throw it on. Otherwise, I probably would watch something else. Obviously, ROH G1 Supercard, and then Joey Janela Spring Break Part 2, the greatest clusterfuck on Fight TV. I'm not missing the clusterfuck for anything, so it's going to be a late night on Saturday, and then, of course, on Sunday, I'll be watching WrestleMania. It's going to be a fun weekend. Like I said, I am beyond jealous of you for the fact that you get to go live.
This is my first WrestleMania weekend too, so I'm pretty excited, to get up there. I'm meeting a friend that I haven't met in 20 years, so that's kind of cool. And I'm really looking forward to it, and I'll have all kinds of fun little tidbits to share next time.
Yeah, we'll get you. We'll have to record as soon as you get back, maybe Monday or Tuesday of that week, so you can give us the live in person and all the fun stories of the weekend and tell us everything that you see in the crowd, because I have a feeling it's going to be a fun crowd. It's going to be an interesting crowd there at MSG. So.
Oh, I bet.
But anyway, guys, folks, that is going to do it for us. Follow the show at PuroRegal Pod. Follow the Slam Fam Wrestling Network at SlamFamWREST. Follow me on Twitter at SCWRegal444. Gary, you were doing good for a little bit. Then I noticed you kind of disappeared again on me on the Twitterverse. But what do you got?
So I'm at Ringside Chats on Twitter. I'll probably be a lot more active over Mania weekend. I think I might live chat some things, tweet some things while I'm there. And then I have my Facebook group, Ringside Chats. So come check me out over there.
We have a lot of fun on that. So if you're not a member of that yet, hit up Gary, hit up Ringside Chat. I always say I love Ringside Chat because I used to just throw pro wrestling stuff up on my regular personal Facebook page, and people were like, "Man, you talk about wrestling too much." Now I have Ringside Chat, so I have a place to just throw all of that. So that's kind of what I do with Ringside Chat. So it's always fun, and it's always fun when you have a group of like-minded individuals that are going to respond. Like this morning, I just happened to be the person who just happened to be awake at 3:30 in the morning when they dropped the G1 card. So, have fun, enjoy Mania weekend, enjoy G1 Supercard, and we will see you the week after Mania to give you what we thought about it.